Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to another edition of Beyond the Bell. It is Wednesday, March 13th, 2024. It is 60 seconds after the bell, which means it's time to go beyond the charts. Beyond the news and beyond the bell, brought to you by our good friends at the Blue Sky Trading Company for the clearest path to a live brokerage account. Live trading with Mike every day in the Discord, and this wonderful show. We've got everything you need, except one thing. We don't have a community specifically devoted to trading psychology. For that, you got to go to our good friend, new friend of the show, as we're going to call him now, Jared Tendler. So for those of you that were not here earlier today, guys, okay? Hold on, let me get that off there. We did this event earlier today with Mr. Tendler. It was an outstanding event. During the day, we work around everybody's availability, understand people are trading, people are working, people are doing whatever they need to do. So thankfully, this event is archived right on this same YouTube page. So as soon as this show is done, in about 20 minutes, we want you to go over and check that out. Watch it in chunks. I mean, it's an hour long, and his stuff is just so good. It can be really difficult to process it all at once, right? Like Mark Douglas's book. I'm going to read Mr. Tendler's book. I said during the stream I'm going to join his community. I'm dead serious about that, and you should too. Make sure you click on the link on the Blue Sky website on the left-hand corner of the screen, and it will go ahead and set you up for that. First 7 days are free. Encourage you to check that out as well. So first of all, hello, Mike. Hello, John. Hello, Heinrich. Mike, from what I understand, we finally got you a T-shirt. You've been asking every day. You've been like cheering. Everyone wants the eval. Everybody wants the course packs. Everybody just kind of settles for a T-shirt. Here's Mike every day asking for a T-shirt. Mike, well, darn it, we got you a T-shirt. So we need to see. We need to see some sort of social media poster. You can email us a picture. You can blur out your face if you like. You can, keep your anonymity of you wearing that shirt when it appears, and we will put it on this show. So nice to see you as always, Mike. You're a guy who does the work by showing up here each and every day, and we really appreciate that. So guys, let's go ahead and take a look at the big picture. Okay, so in the NQ, so guys, honestly, I had an event this morning at 9 o'clock Eastern. I woke up at about 3:30 and couldn't get back to sleep. I fell asleep early last night, but I woke up early, was too hyped up for today, couldn't get to sleep. Did my event this morning. Usually that always involves, it was an outside event. Usually it ends up, with a lot of emails, a few sales, a lot of things I gotta work on. So I worked on that. I put together a quick slide deck when I realized I had to do that. I had the event with Mr. Tendler, had to handle a couple of personal things after that sort of cropped up at the last minute. Nothing bad, nothing good, just stuff, the stuff that just comes up and needs to be dealt with in real time. So guys, for the first time, or for only like the third time this year, I didn't make a single trade today. And quite honestly, Chris, yeah, welcome, Chris. Chris, I'm tonight. I'm going to set up your course wins since you got that. I owe two of you course packs. Today was obviously just crazy, so I will definitely get to those. Check your email later tonight, hopefully by about 10 o'clock or something when I get back. I have to, as soon as the show's on, get in my car. I got to go deal with some more stuff. It's been a day, but I recognize, I sat down about 1 o'clock. After all this was done, and I said, 11 o'clock my time was the event, ended about noon with Mr. Tendler, and immediately I ran out to grab some lunch because I didn't have anything in the house, just kind of was on the phone for a little while, again, dealing with a few minor things, and so I sat down at 1 o'clock. I was like, well, I still got a couple hours to trade, but you know what, I realized I was mentally exhausted. Right, and it's okay, and this is, we got into this with Jared earlier today. Understanding and recognizing your mental capacity to trade on a day-to-day basis is very important. Our lesson of the day in just a minute, guys, I'm going to share my 3 big takeaways from that event. But again, I highly, highly, highly encourage you, if you have the time, I know everybody's schedule is packed, but if you have the time, as soon as this event goes, as soon as I put the Blue Sky logo back on the screen to signify the end of the show, go back to the Blue Sky webpage, YouTube page, right? This YouTube channel you're watching the show on right now, and go ahead and check out that event. Watch, like I said, if you watch the full hour, great. If you need to break it into 10, 15-minute chunks, you could do that as well. And I firmly believe this show, Mike's Live Trading, Jared's Community, all of this can really help you pass that eval the next time one of those big sales comes around. We are also giving away 3 T-shirts on the show today, so if my buddy Raj at the home office in Chesterton, Indiana, can go ahead and post the link to that, we would appreciate that. Yes, absolutely, Chris. It was an excellent webinar. It is interesting, right? Because there's outside of Mr. Tendler, there's a couple names that are really big in the trading psychology world, right? Well, you know what? We're going to get to that in a minute. I got the chart pulled up here. So again, guys, we're right back in this key zone with the NQ. Kind of much ado about nothing as I looked at some of the 5-minute charts. Let's pull this up. Oh no, that's my Renko chart. Okay, so nice sell-off as we moved into the open, and after that, not a whole lot of opportunity. So if you didn't trade the first 30 minutes, there might not have been a whole lot today for you, depending on what kind of trader you are. So again, yeah, now that about covers it right there, right, guys? Hello, Jorge. How are you, sir? It's nice to see you. Let's go ahead and get into the lesson of the day, guys, because I think this stuff is very important. It is Trading Psych Week here on Beyond the Bell, which, of course, tied into today's event with Jared. And I had a lot of stuff's been going through my head since that event, and I found his perspective just fascinating on a lot of things and very, very accurate. Now, Jared's not a trader. He does not trade. He was if I recall, he was an aspiring professional golfer, and he just happened to have his, as you saw, he's got his bachelor's and his master's in different psychological fields. So and obviously all you need to do is really talk to him for a minute or two to understand he's an extremely intelligent individual and seems to kind of have his head screwed on straight, which is more than I can say for me and a lot of people that I know, right? But it is an interesting perspective, right? Because like Mark Douglas, who sort of, I don't want to call him the founding father of trading psychology, but he's not a psychologist. He has no, at least at the time, he had no training in psychology. He wrote a book called The Disciplined Trader, Trading in the Zone, did a ton of seminars. He was a trader who learned about psychology. And then there's a gentleman called Dr. Brett Steenbarger who consults with some of the big firms in New York. He was a psychologist that then learned about trading, and actually he does some trading now. And like I said, consults for some of the big hedge funds and prop firms that are based out in New York. So here's Jared Tendler, who has a background in psychology, studied, graduated with a master's in psychology, became an athlete, and then basically is a performance coach and a performance psychologist, whatever the terminology is for that. And so, but he doesn't trade, but he studies traders, he works with traders, et cetera, et cetera. So a lot of interesting perspectives out there. But our talk was just absolutely fascinating. I want to tell you the 3 main takeaways that I had. And I looked for something, guys, that aren't the obvious, right? Like there's certain things about the whole thing that jump out as very, very obvious to start. When he talks about fear, especially dealing with fear, anxiety, if you're one of those who is in a situation of desperation, right, which you save for several weeks just to afford an eval and you blow it out on day 1 or 2, if that describes you, I highly encourage you to watch this particular video, because we specifically hit on that both in a pre-posed question and a question that was live in chat. So I encourage you to check that out. But the 3 main takeaways I took is a confirmation of something that you've heard me say on the show. It's something I say to clients all the time. Okay, process over profits. Listen, we're here to make money. If you're not in the trading world to make money, hopefully a lot of money, you're in the wrong line of work. Right? This is a hard, very stressful business, but when it's done right and when you're able to figure it out and do what you do, it is an extremely rewarding business. Okay. We have the link, guys, right at the top of the chat, the link for the giveaway. And so, we focus so much on the P&L, which, don't get me wrong, am I a lot happier during the, at the end of the day, like when I come down here to do this show and I usually stop. I don't trade power hour. I really never have that, the last hour of the New York Open from 3 to 4 Eastern. Occasionally I'll make a trade 3:15, but I've never traded in the last half hour of the New York session. So it's not a big thing, usually about a half hour before I come down here, get the computer turned on, get everything set up, get my charts up, prep for the show, change the graphics, find out what giveaways we're doing, make sure I structure it into the show. I have my notepad where I have all the things I'm going to talk about on a day-to-day basis, right? When I'm doing that, it's always nice that the last thing that I see before I come downstairs when I close out my platform so I can open them up down here is a nice big green number on the screen. That's nice, right? However, at the end of the day, literally the end of the trading day, I am satisfied knowing that I traded my setups. I got out of trades when they were not working or when they were not appropriate to stay in. Okay. And if that happens and it's a red number, so be it. Now, any number on the screen, if I know I was sloppy, if I know I was undisciplined, I didn't follow my setups, didn't follow my playbooks, I'm pretty upset. And there's been days where I've even been maybe a couple $100 in the green, and it was just not a good trading day. It was a sloppy trading day. I'm more pissed then than I am if I lost $1,000, but I executed everything according to my plan, right? That was one of the things Jared hit on today. There's no trader in the world that hits on 100% of trades. It's just not possible because of the random nature of the market. Okay, so how you handle those losses defines who you are as a trader. And remember what we've said on this show all week, that there's a certain level of stubbornness that you have to be a successful trader, right? You have to be stubborn enough to not give up in the face of a ton of negative feedback, whether from yourself, your family, your results, whatever the case may be, and yet not stubborn enough to not change things after you failed your third eval, right? It's people tell me all the time, well, it's just I got to find the right strategy, or it's those darn trailing drawdowns, right? It's those darn rules in Blue Sky or whoever's accounts. And then I'll ask them, well, how many times have you failed? Oh, well, 24. Okay. I'm sorry, on 24, that's on you. That's not, if you showed consistent profitability over many years, and then you take an eval and it's the trailing drawdown that gets you, okay. All right. And obviously there's static drawdowns if you don't want to deal with that. But, again, I've said many times, if you can trade, you can trade. And I asked Jared about that, and it was an interesting answer. We had a nice back and forth on that, talking about, when you're going on the highway, there's traffic rules that, in theory, depending on what part of the country you're in, you should be following, like speed limit, lane lines, turn signals, all of which seem to be used less and less nowadays. But regardless, it's the same thing within trading combines. And I've said this before, guys. If you can trade, you can pass a combine. Now, don't get me wrong, guys. I've told the story, when I first started to get into the prop firm world, and especially last summer, I took 11 combines that I set up myself, right? I went into RTrader, put the rules in for Blue Sky's 50K combine, and I took it 11 times over the course of about 3 months. I wasn't constantly doing it. I'd do it for 4 or 5 days, and then, alongside my normal trading, then I wanted to focus on my normal trading, and I passed 7 out of 11. So even I'm not going to pass the thing 100% of the time. So if you fail one combine or even 2 combines, all right. I at that point, you can still make the statement that it's just, I just need to kind of figure this out, but everything is solid. But when you get to 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 double digits, somebody in this chat during this, not this show, when I used to do Thursday webinars here, said that they took 80 combines. And I'm assuming that's accurate. I don't know why you'd lie about that. But honestly, forget 1 through 78. On that 79th combine, what are you doing? What, really? And trading being, as I've said, the ultimate binary. You're either profitable or you're not over a long period of time. Anybody can have a red day. Okay, I've had plenty of red days in my career, even several this year. Okay, you can have a red month. Been a little while since I've had one of those, but I've had plenty over the years. Okay. Even the best traders can have off days, or even have days where their setups and their systems just don't work. That's okay. But at the end of the year, let's say, you're either profitable or you're not. And if you're not profitable, at the end of 2024, guys, if you're not profitable and you've blown out 20 combines, you're not a capable functional trader yet. Doesn't mean you can't get there, but you can't start doing. You can't do the same things then. On trial number 80 that you're doing on number 1 and expect to have any success. 400 eval, Zach, my man. Man, take that money and go to Vegas. You'll have more fun that way. But in all seriousness, so, since you offered that up, have you done things differently on number 398 and 399? Yeah, you got to pump those numbers up. Those are rookie numbers, right? Like the old meme. I think that was from Wolf of Wall Street or something. Yeah, that's well, Zach, you get the no, don't encourage that drawdown. Come on, man. Okay, well, listen, get on the, we talked about the sim and the value of sim trading and how, yeah, you can't indefinitely sim trade, but maybe set up a sim just like an eval, and until you're able to pass it, let's say 60% of the time, you don't spend another dime on an eval. It'll save you a little time, save you a little money, but you got to treat it like real trades, right? So set up most platforms have a practice or a sim account built right in. That you could do. Make sure you're journaling your trades. Make sure you're doing all that. All right, the number two thing, before I go way off target here, often gambling for dopamine hits, as Zach says. Well, I mean, listen, you recognize that. The first, I know this gets brought up in like addiction scenarios, but the first, but this is true in life. If you don't recognize there's a problem, there's no problem. Right? You have to recognize the problem is the first step to correcting said problem, whether in trading, in life, whatever. Okay, we've all had things in our lives that we didn't consider a problem until somebody said, "Yeah, man, this is kind of a problem. We need to deal with this." Right? But they might miss out. Yeah. If I'm not in the markets tomorrow, that's going to be the huge day, right? That's FOMO. That's the very definition of fear of missing out. Right? We talked about that today. But anyway, number two that Jared brought up was strategy jumping and how prevalent it is. Right? And I've said this. It's the Murphy's Law of trading. You can spend 10 years building out a strategy, testing it, refining it, tweaking the rules, all of that. And let's say I don't know any system that hits 80% of the time, but let's say this hypothetical fictional one does. And it hits 80% of the time over 3 years of testing, 10 years of testing. The very first day you put a dollar of real money into it, you're going to lose it. That's just Murphy's Law of trading. That's going to happen. So people do this, right? And I sell strategy courses. I know how this goes. I'll get emails from somebody that says, man, I tested this for 3 weeks. I was profitable 70% of days, but my first 2 days I traded it live, I lost. The system sucks. Well, okay, first of all, not every system works for everybody. I'm always willing to concede that. My setups not necessarily work for somebody else, and somebody else's setups don't necessarily work for me, okay? But don't be so quick to throw the baby out with the bathwater, as it is, okay. And the third thing, guys, well, actually, I already talked about that. The prop firm rules being like traffic rules, and how you should learn to embrace those because, guys, yeah, some of them are a little restrictive, but at the same time, you pass with those restrictive rules. Just imagine how well you'll do when you get into brokerage, which is the ultimate goal. Well, the ultimate goal is to make regular withdrawals, but to do that, you need to get into the brokerage. Lutan, Mike. Well, first of all, Lutan, I'm Matt. I know the M's are confusing. Okay. But Mike is here during the day. He does the live trading. He's got the cowboy hat, and he's probably got more hair than me. In fact, just the fact that I can see some poking out from his hat means he's got way more hair than me. So we're both great traders, and we're both damn good looking. So I can understand why you might confuse that. But I'm Matt. He's Mike, and yeah, we're both awesome. So it works, right? It's okay, Luton. I'm just giving you crap. Listen, it has been a long day for me. I'm just sitting here like going off the cuff right now. I'm not even going to lie to you guys. I'll be a lot more polished and ready tomorrow, but I put all my polished and ready energy into two things there. But again, this goes back to, guys, why I sat down and I said, you know what? Boy, I'm not in the headspace to trade right now, right? I looked at some charts for a while. I farted around with my platform and played around with a couple of settings here or there just to try a few new things. But yeah, I sat down and I said, I'm mentally just gassed right now. So for me to be making trading decisions right now, I'm not going to be making the best decisions. Doesn't mean I would or wouldn't have been profitable, okay? But the odds of me being profitable when I'm really like mentally drained are less than if I was mentally whole and ready to go, right? So I do want to ask, at what point did you notice yourself starting to break even? What about profitability? So I've told this story before, guys. I lost about $40,000 of my own money trading for the first about 6 months of live trading. And it took me 16 months after that to get it back. Okay, so I'm sitting almost 2 full years into my trading career, and I'm break even. Okay, but the knowledge I gained in those 2 years, holy crap, guys, a lot. right? And now I was ready. And it hasn't, my profit curve hasn't always been linear, right? There's ups and downs. There's even some big drawdowns in there. That happens, okay? But yeah, guys, honestly, it is possible to be profitable fairly early on in your career if you don't take dumb risks. But guys, from the time you fully commit to being a futures day trader to the time you will feel comfortable and being, making consistent profits, honestly, guys, it's probably going to be about 2 years. I know people don't want to hear that. There's somebody out there going, oh, I just made $1,000 today, been at this month. Come at me, bro. All right, well, check back with me in 6 months, right? That's, to get it again, doesn't mean you can't be profitable, doesn't mean you can't make money or get into a brokerage fairly quickly. But, it was 2 years of trading, and then it was about 2 years of trading futures for me where I finally was like, yeah, all right, okay, I get it now. I feel pretty comfortable, right? At 2 years, the market throws, especially in today's, today has accelerated market cycles, the market throws about everything it's got at you. Just look at forget 2 years. Look at the last 5 years. We've had limit down days. I don't think we've had any limit up days, but they've been very close. The beginning of COVID, we had the SPY shut down for trading for 15 minutes, locked out because it hit its circuit breaker, right? We've seen 2-3% down days, 2-3% up days. We've seen new all-time highs after new all-time highs. We've seen 5 to 10. I don't know if we quite hit a 20% correction, but we were close for a time there, right? So, yeah, you see just about everything. You sit and you watch hundreds of thousands of candlesticks open and close on a year-by-year basis, right? You got to put in the screen time. You got to put in the effort. All right, guys, last call to sign up for the T-shirt giveaway. And I do want to tease on tomorrow's show. I am giving away a one-on-one. I don't know what Blue Sky's giving away. They'll tell me 5 minutes before we go live. But I am going to give away one one-on-one coaching session. Usually lasts about an hour, though it's not necessarily timed. So if you are interested in that, please come to tomorrow's show and we'll get you entered in that. Yeah, no problem, Lieutenant. So how would you describe a system that consists of price action patterns? Henrique, I'm price action patterns that can be on a Renko chart, that can be on a candlestick chart, it can be in a Henk and Ashley chart, whatever the case may be, right? Price action patterns is no different than anything you see on here. These some of these candlesticks where they're labeled, right? I don't like the haramis. I wish there was a way I can probably get rid of those. I'll play with that later. But like an engulfing candle, that's a price action pattern. Doesn't mean necessarily it's actionable, right? But yeah, so hopefully that answers your question. All right, guys, I am going to start pulling up the wheel o' names. By the way, guys, I see a lot of these names day after day here. For those of you that are here every day, I can't thank you enough for making this show part of your day-to-day routine. Hopefully you get something out of it on a day-to-day basis, especially days when I'm not as mentally just freaking gassed as I am today. All right, guys, sign up is now closed. We'll have our good friend Raj. Everybody say hi, Raj. Give us the names. We will spin the wheel, and we will call it a Wednesday. Yeah, let's go. Good luck. Yeah, T-shirts. Hey, seriously, guys, when you get these, post them up like on social or something, and we'll shout you out. So yeah, guys, your homework assignment for tonight into tomorrow's show is going to watch the interview that I did with Jared Tendler earlier today. Yeah, I see all these people saying what's up to Raj. See, Raj, it's not just you Canadians that are friendly. Any questions anybody have while I'm waiting for these names to come in? Anything related, especially to trading psychology? Feel free to post them, and while I'm getting the names loaded up on the. Yeah, a lot of names today. Everyone came out today. I appreciate that. All right, guys. So we've got the names up. Let me pull How do I trade choppy markets? So in theory, Bao, that's a very good question, right? How do you trade choppy markets versus trending markets? And don't get me wrong, it is important to differentiate between the two, but honestly, I trade my setups. If my setup can fire off at any given point, if my setup fires off and the market conditions are right, I'll take the trade. Now, am I a little more careful? Right? Like I look at a trade and I'll say, that's a B plus trade, I'm in. Oh, that's an A trade, I'm in. That's a B minus trade, I don't know about that. Borderline trades I don't take in choppy markets. So when it's really choppy, and I use ATR to determine that, like any ATR, 5-minute ATR in the NQ, if it's below 18, or especially below 15, it's probably not conducive to my style of trading. So, this is a giveaway for 312. It's not. It's 313. Let's go ahead and update that. All right, guys, so we are spinning the wheel 3 times. This is for 3 Blue Sky t-shirts. Ryan says, I sometimes have a problem adding too much size to a trade I'm in instead of worrying about how much risk I'm taking. Well, that's, yeah. SEO or ECO. Adriano de Oliveira Jr., congratulations, you have won a Blue Sky t-shirt. Can only win once per day, though, so I'm going to take you off the wheel here. Let's spin number 2 for a Blue Sky t-shirt. Andrew, congratulations. You have won a Blue Sky t-shirt. Chris, to answer your question, yes, I do. I do about a 5-minute meditation, usually right before the markets open. I do longer meditation throughout the day at various points sometimes, not as much as I should, but that is absolutely something I do. All right, last spin for a Blue Sky t-shirt. Sofiani. Tihani, I believe. Sofiani Tihani. It's a really pretty name, regardless of where it's from. All right, congratulations. You have won a Blue Sky t-shirt. Guys, give us a couple days to get that stuff. You should get shipping confirmations, hopefully by the end of the week. But yeah, that's about it. Yeah, Mike's right. We need t-shirts, guys. All right, my friends, it has been a long day. I hope you learned a ton today because there were plenty of opportunities to learn. Tomorrow, I don't know what Blue Sky's giving away. I'm giving away a one-on-one session tomorrow, so make sure you show up for that. Have a great rest of your day. Thank you for joining us for another edition of Beyond the Bell. Good night.